Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jason Aldean, and we are about to premiere my live fireside performance of a new song that's really special to me. It's called Help You Remember from my Songs About Us album coming out in April. But first, y'all been fired up on socials asking me all kinds of questions, so how about we answer some questions for you guys? All right? And now we're going to kick it off. We got one from Daniela Moore. Are you going to tour again in 2026? Please come to Atlanta. We are definitely touring again in 2026. We are going to be we're going to Australia, actually, in New Zealand in February. We're going to kind of kickstart everything in early January. So we're going out earlier than normal. But yeah, we're definitely on tour 2026. I don't know if we're coming to Atlanta, but I know we'll be somewhere close by there if not. So come see us for sure. We got Mark B now. What was the inspiration behind the album title Songs About Us? Songs About Us is one of the songs on the record. It's actually a collab that I did with my buddy Luke Bryan. And I don't know, to me it was just, growing up, man, to me music was kind of music for everybody. It was songs about whether you're going through falling in love or heartache or, just any kind of personal thing. To me, music was kind of, I always kind of looked at songs like, man, I feel like somebody wrote that song for me. And so for me on this album, I feel like there's a lot of songs like that. Kind of covers a lot of ground. Songs that talk about things that I'm dealing with in my personal life or have dealt with, and I'm sure a lot of people are out there as well. So just kind of sound like a fitting title for the album, and something just kind of made sense. So love the title, love the song, and can't wait for you guys to check that one out. Samantha Hubbard. I cannot wait to hear your duet with Brittany. How did that come about? We obviously been talking about that for a long time, and I think a lot of fans have hoped that we would do something like that over the years. But to me, it's like anything. I feel like the song has to be right, timing, everything has to be right for those kind of things. And we had a song that came in, written by my buddy Charles Kelly from Lady Antebellum, and he sent me this demo, and the first thing I thought of was her. I just thought she would sound great on this thing, and just kind of, she had no idea, but I kind of took it to her and said, hey, do you want to go in the studio and try this out and sing? Because she's never really been in the studio either, so this was her first time in the studio, and she was a little nervous going in, but she did great, and song came out amazing, and like I said, something we've been wanting to do for a long time, so glad we finally got a chance to do it. And gonna be on the record, so can't wait for you guys to hear that one as well. Lindsay Lewis, will you perform your new song with Luke in Athens? Can't wait to see you guys there. There's a pretty good possibility that'll happen. Luke and I are playing the Georgia show, Sanford Stadium, in April, and that's a big thing, big night for both of us. Both of us being from Georgia, it doesn't get any bigger than playing Athens, Georgia, Sanford Stadium for us. So it's going to be a different kind of show, I think, than people are expecting. It's not going to be Luke opens or I open and the other one closes. It's going to be a whole different kind of show. We're going to be doing a lot of things together out there, I think, that night, and we're still kind of figuring out what that looks like. But I would say there's a really good possibility that you'll hear that one that night for sure. So, Michael G. What keeps you motivated to keep touring, making music, etc.? Man, I just love music. I love it. I started playing, guitar at 13, 14 years old, and by the time I was 14 or 15, I was playing bars. It's kind of all I've really ever known. And so honestly, the year and a half off we had from COVID was pretty much torture for me because I couldn't go out and tour. We weren't really playing a lot of stuff, and I realized during that time that, I still love what I do. I love making music. I love going in the studio to record it. But more than anything, I love going on the road and playing it live. And when I don't have that, I miss it. So it's just something that, that kind of drives me every day to go out and keep pushing the envelope, making music and trying to do something that I haven't done before. And I don't know. It's just something that I don't remember what it was like to not do that. All right, who was that? Michael G. We got Dan Hogan now. Who do you predict will play Georgia in the SEC championship this year? Go Dogs. Well, we need Alabama to lose, for one. And if that's the case, it'll be Texas A&M. I think Texas A&M is pretty strong right now, looking good. Alabama got one loss, but it was to FSU, and then they beat us. So that's kind of a big deal. So if we get to play somebody, I think it's probably going to be Texas A&M, but that's a big if. Alabama's kind of the team that's in the way of that. So we'll see. But either way, we got to take care of business the rest of the year and get into the playoff. I think that's ultimately the goal. So going to be fun. I love this time of year. Love college football, and just glad we're in the conversation. So it's going to be fun to watch it play out. Forrest Davidson, what songs on the new album are going to make it into your live shows? I don't know. That's always hard, man. When we're putting together shows, you want to put together a show that when people come out, they hear the songs they know, right? So like all the singles, the things they're familiar with. And a lot of times the B-sides of a record don't always make it into the show. And so for us, we try to make sure the singles get in there, or if there's a song that we think will potentially be a single, those are the ones that we'll kind of add in. And but it's kind of a new day too. I mean, if something kind of takes off in the streaming world and starts getting a lot of heat that way, that's something we'll kind of look at and throw that in to the show as well. So it's kind of we're always kind of trying to hit a moving target a lot of times when it comes to those things. And, so I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot of cool stuff. I mean, obviously I cut all those songs because I love them for, one reason or another, and would love to play all of them live. But if we did that and didn't play, She's Country or Dirt Road Anthem one night and played a B-side, I feel like people would be a little upset. So, it's just kind of the balance of trying to figure that out all the time. But Marianne McDonald. I love How Far Does a Goodbye Go? What other songs are you excited about on the new album? All of them. All of them. How Far Does a Goodbye Go to me was a song that I knew immediately would be the first single off the record, and just something that, I felt like was just a really well-written song and just a great song to help launch that album. There's another one on the album that's called Don't Tell Me, which is really cool. We got, I don't know, man, there's one called Her Favorite Color is Dirt that I think is really cool. So, all of them very different songs, but really cool in their own way. And, there's 20 songs. So got a chance to do collaborations with David Lee Murphy, who I've known for years. And I think it's a 30-year anniversary of Dust on the Bottle. So we're, doing that with him. And we got the song with Luke. We got the song with Britt. So, yeah, there's some cool stuff like that. And, all those, like I said, all those songs got cut for a reason. And so I'm excited about all of them, excited for you guys to hear them all and kind of get your feedback on what you like the most and maybe don't like the most or whatever. So that's always a good gauge when we get the album out and kind of get you guys feedback on it. All right. Blake, if you could spend a weekend hunting, where would it be? Probably where I just came from. I was just in Kansas, Fort Scott, Kansas, about a week ago, and probably my favorite place to hunt at the E3 Ranch down there, with the Buck Commander guys, and just got a chance to go down and spend, 4 or 5 days down there with them. And to me, it's the best deer hunting there is to me. So, and it's always fun when you're down there with your buddies and stuff too. So if I get a chance to go, that's usually where I would prefer to go. Mary Elizabeth. You got to be from the South with a name like Mary Elizabeth. All right. Are you going to do a music video for How Far Does a Goodbye Go? As a matter of fact, we just finished shooting the video. It's going to be a different video than you guys are used to seeing. It's a little bit of a throwback kind of vibe. I think when you initially see everybody in the video, you're going to probably do a double take. But, it's kind of filmed almost like a little mini movie. So it's a really cool video. Kind of throwing it back to like maybe a little 70s vibe. And we had a lot of fun on it, but we just finished it. I just got the first rough draft of it. So you guys should be seeing it in the next, hopefully, couple weeks. So yes, to answer your question, it is coming soon. Shannon E. What made you want to cover Dust on the Bottle? Well, I think I just said this a minute ago, but it's the 30-year anniversary of that song going number one. which happened in 1995 when I was a senior in high school. So I was playing that song in the clubs back then, and have known David Lee Murphy since about that time. I won a Battle of the Bands back in the day and got a chance to open for him and Diamond Rio and Johnny Paycheck, and that was the first day I met David Lee, and he was one of the first guys I wrote with when I came to town. To me, one of the coolest guys in Nashville that there is. I mean, I don't think you'll find anybody in Nashville to ever say a bad word about the guy. He's just a cool dude. And so that's a song I grew up playing in the clubs over the years, and just thought it'd be fun to collab with him and do something. He still sounds as good as he ever did, and so it was fun getting a chance to do that with him. But that was a big song, and just one that was pretty influential for me, like coming up in the clubs. That was kind of a standard that we played all the time, so it was fun to get to do it with David Lee. All right, Royce Carden, what would you say is the biggest risk you took with this new album? I don't know, man. I don't really think I consider things a risk anymore. I think we took a lot of risk early on and kind of, set ourselves up in a position to be able to go in a lot of different directions, whatever we wanted to do musically for the most part. So I feel like at this point, I don't think, you're going to hear anything that's just like, whoa, that's so far out in left field. What is that? But I think we've really dialed in what we do, what we do best, and what we think is cool. And, obviously we don't want to go out and keep making the same records over and over. So we want the songs to, get better and better and better. And, I think that's been the case. And I think if anything, you just kind of see maturity over the years in the records that we've done. But, as far as risk taking, I think we're 20 years into the game at this point. So I think by now people, you kind of know what you're going to get from us for the most part. We're just trying to refine it, as best we can. But that being said, I mean, there's some really cool things on there that I think, are different kind of sounds for us. So there's a song on there called Little Hometown Left of Me that I think is, maybe one of the more different songs on the record, but really cool. So I think that's kind of how we approach all that stuff at this point. All right, I think we may have time for one more. And we're going to do, let me see here. Okay, this is from Sarah. 30 number one hits is such an accomplishment. What number one song means the most to you? That's a tough one. I always say this is like it's like trying to pick your favorite kid. I don't really. It's hard for me to do that. The first number one was a song called "Why" that was will always be special to me because it was the first one. You got songs like Try That in a Small Town that got so much backlash, and a lot of people really tried to tear that song apart before it ever really got going. And the fact that it went number one and people kind of saw through that, that means a ton to me. So they're all kind of different, and they all kind of came at different points in my career, so it's really hard to pick one. But I'll say the song that I think really helped to launch my career into the stratosphere was, I think a lot of people point to the My Kind of Party album and Dirt Road Anthem and those kind of things, but it was actually She's Country. When we did She's Country and Big Green Tractor kind of back to back, those were the songs that really kind of lit the rocket fuse, and so those songs will always be really, really special as well. All right, guys, well, I think that's going to be a wrap. So that's all the time we have for now, because now it's time to see a special fireside performance of a song that means a lot to me. It's called Help You Remember, and it was inspired by a loved one struggling with Alzheimer's, dementia. I hope this performance will help anyone else dealing with this horrible disease, man. It really is a tough thing to go through and watch for families. We are, have gone through it and are currently in the middle of it as well. But we're going to hook you up with some Alzheimer's support resources. And if you have the means to donate, I sure hope you will. Help out the Alzheimer's Foundation or dementia or anything like that. So head on over to YouTube now to watch my fireside acoustic performance of Help You Remember. And I'll see you guys.